The year is 1241. The Mongols have added the Russian lands to the ever-growing Mongol Empire.
Our ally is attacked! Should we aid them?
And now the Mongols turn their eyes to Central Europe. Standing in their way are the Bulgarian and Polish royal armies, along with a smattering of Rus peoples from Kiev and Halych who have yet to be conquered under the Mongol yoke. Can this European coalition resist the unstoppable Mongol horde? Or will the sons of Genghis Khan establish a Mongolian foothold in Central Europe? Welcome guys, this is Midnight Games Online and we are playing 1212 AD, the totally free mod for Total War Attila. This battle today is a 3 versus 3 battle. Of course, as usual, if you want to just skip ahead to and fast forward to the battle, we have the timestamp in the description below, so just feel free to click on that. Meanwhile, we're going to go through the army compositions here. So we have a Mongol siege attacking a Slavic settlement here with sort of wooden walls. We'll go through the defenders first. I am controlling the Duchy of Lesser Poland, and we'll go over this army real quick. This is the King's bodyguard here. You can see the King of Poland here and his King's Guard. This is a unit of sergeants with some extra experience points here set to guard the king. Some with the sword, some with other single-handed weapons. And this is sort of the center of the base, or the inner keep, with the victory point here as well. There was one artillery per player. As far as the main artillery pieces go, here is the trebuchet. For the Polish forces, we do have one unit in this inner keep here of archer sergeants. The rest of my archers are on the outer wall here. And also one unit of sergeant spearmen guarding a very steep ramp which has some sharp stone beds scattered about. So this will be very difficult to climb up this hill and fight through these sergeants for the attackers. So one unit of sergeant spearmen here, and that will be it for the Polish forces in the inner keep here. Although actually there looks to be one more sergeant spear unit here guarding another entrance to the inner keep, so there are 3 of those. Oh, and it looks like a 3rd unit over here, sergeant spearmen guarding the 3rd entrance to the inner keep. So at every entrance there is a sergeant spearman unit, and here we have a barricade also set up to block this ramp completely off with some Bulgarian archers on it. I think that now will be it for the Polish forces in the inner keep. We have some Polish forces in the mid-city. These are the Polish knights. Here's their captain with the single-handed straight-edge sword. And this is the more experienced unit, some extra experience points added. And a 2nd unit, Polish knights here, a little less experienced. The experience points do cost gold, so you get less troops if you add those. And the rest of the Polish forces here arrayed along the outer wall of this Slavic settlement. We have sergeants here on the wall. And we have some archers. So there's the 2nd unit of Polish archers, 3rd, and a 4th one here, as well as a sergeant crossbow unit. And 5 missiles were the max, so I did take the maximum here. These ones are above the gate here. We also have some spearmen here ready to hold the walls. Looks like these ones moved back due to the enemy artillery fire of the Mongols. And another unit of sergeant spears here ready to hold this gate that they're just about to close, I'm sure. And kind of also positioned on an incline, so they'll be tough to grind through. And one more unit of sergeants over here, some of the Polish sword infantry. Outside of the gate, there is some pit traps here. And there was a bastion catapult, but the Mongolian rocket cart took care of that already. The other two defenders here are Kiev and Bulgaria. Kiev being controlled by Litholdis. So here is his general. Over here, actually, will be the Knyaz Guard of Kiev. And there is the Grand Prince of Kiev with his men, what's left of them after the Mongol invasion, and a lot of troops here in the center. There are dismounted Druzina here, median melee infantry, second unit of those. Then we have the heavy smirred spearmen. Another medium spear infantry here for Kiev. So he's got a lot of reserves here in the center. And a shock infantry unit, the Guard Berdouche Axemen. Some with the two-handed pole axes there. Kiev with the trebuchet as well. Over here. And that might be it for his forces in the inner keep. So a lot of reserves for Kiev in the inner keep. And I'd like to find his forces on the wall here. Looks like he has one unit of dismounted Druzina here along the Polish wall as a perhaps backup. Here are some more spears for Kiev, ready to hold these walls. And dismounted Druzinas here for Kiev. Another unit of his medium melee infantry here. And then he does have some archer units as well. So we can see, well, these are Bulgarian archers. So I think the Bulgarian line maybe starts over here, whereas Kiev is kind of holding over here. And I think that might be it for Kiev's units. Oh no, here are some of his missiles. So the Rus Javelin men over here, guarding this back pathway. And some mounted Druzina here. Kind of in the shade of this tree. And here are his missile units. So he does have Rus Hunters here in the mid-city rather than on the walls or in the inner keep. Another 2 units of Rus Hunters. 1 more unit of Guard Berdouche Axemen and some heavy smirred spearmen holding the top of this ramp, which will lead to the inner keep this way. That would be the forces of Kiev. Let's move on to Bulgaria. Here's the Tsar's bodyguard. Again, guys, if you can't tell just from the units in play, this is an early era battle, so only 13th century units, although we did make an exception for the Mongols and allowed them to bring 1 rocket cart, which you guys have already seen in action here. But otherwise, early era battle with 13th century units only. Moldavian warriors here and here, which are the sword infantry for Bulgaria. And as well, the 3rd defender who brings the trebuchet for their artillery. 2 units of Bulgarian archers on the inner keep walls here. And he does have 2 units of despot spearmen here. I think that's it for his units in the inner keep. Again, the Tsardom of Bulgaria is commanded by Terminator 780, was the name of the player. Moldavian warriors here, the medium melee infantry for Bulgaria. Some more Bulgarian archers along the outer wall, so very smart holding the outer wall. More pit traps here in front of this gate. Moldavian warriors on top. Some Moldavian heavy spear infantry here holding this gate with some caltrops behind them in case some horses break through. More Moldavian warriors on the wall here, and archers holding the outer walls. He does have a bastion catapult. There was one allowed per defender for bastion artillery. Archers here, and that looks to be it for Bulgaria's army. Now these are our special rules, early rules, which only allow the attackers to bring one siege tower per attacker. The rest have to be ladders and battering rams and things like that. Also, the artillery under these special rules cannot general snipe or target other artillery. We wanted to keep it very realistic and medieval feeling. So let's move on to the attacking factions. These are the Mongols. Now, there are 2 Mongol armies on the field, and one of their vassals, the Kipchaks, are the 3rd army. The Mongols often using auxiliaries on the field. The Mongols are commanded by Shaki, commanding the 1st Mongol army. I believe it's this one here. They're using the same one. This is the Khan here on his horse, and his retinue of Mongol warriors. These would have been the Kashig. And more Mongols here. We have the heavy shot cav of the Mongols, and 2 more units with experience points hidden in the trees here. The Batar, Kisiktin, heavy shot cavalry for the Mongols with experience points. So he does bring the max of 3 heavy shot cavalry plus his general. Some naphtha throwers. And then we have fire lance infantry. So these are the Mongol fire lance infantry. They were really the first in Europe, to my knowledge, to use gunpowder weapons. They were not nearly as accurate as some of the later handgunner units that you can get in this game from the 15th century, but for the 13th century they are heavy handgunner infantry. Very cool looking unit, and they can do a lot of damage if they're close and have line of sight, which in a siege you don't always have. Persian foot archers here. So again, the Mongols making use of auxiliaries. All those units back here are Mongolian, as far as I can tell, besides maybe the naphtha throwers, which belong to the Mongol army, but they look like they're maybe Persian or something. But most of the rest of his army of this Mongol army, like in many Mongol armies, would have been auxiliaries used in the siege. These are the Persian foot archers. These are Georgian auxiliary troops fighting for the Mongols and paying tribute once they were conquered. More Georgian auxiliary troops here. And this, wow, that looks spectacular when it's paused. This is the Mongol rocket cart. So this is the high era unit of 14th century here. And it's just shredding everything around it and firing rockets. So again, the Mongols bringing gunpowder onto the European battlefield, sort of before the Europeans were really aware of it. Some more Georgian auxiliaries here. Armenian footmen in this tower. Georgian auxiliaries here, Armenian footmen swords. And the Georgian auxiliaries on this tower here. The ram being brought in by Karash. These are sort of just a meat shield. They don't have any armor. They don't even have a weapon. And the Mongols did use people like this, often as meat shields, or to do duties like pushing the battering ram towards the gate, or just soaking up arrow fire. And that brings us to the end of this first Mongol army. There is a second Mongol army over here, also full of auxiliaries, looks like. Now, more Armenian footmen. The second Mongol army, by the way, guys, is commanded by a dragon player. The first one was Shaki. So let's go over dragon player's army. I think this is dragon player's army here. And this is the second Mongol army on the field. So 2 units of Armenian footmen with some experience points here. Third unit here. He's actually just loading up with those Armenian footmen in the siege tower. These ones with extra experience points. So smartly putting that experienced unit that was worth a little more gold in this siege tower, making them quite safe from arrow fire. And these ladders, unfortunately, not protecting the Mongols from the arrow fire as well as the siege tower does. This is another unit of Armenian footmen, and just loading up on those Armenian footmen. So this whole line here attacking this wall are Mongol vassals here, the Armenian footmen, as part of this second Mongol army. Turkish archers here, excuse me. And he also brings the fire lance infantry. And the fire lance infantry being, as you can see, very Mongolian looking. Not sharing that new battlefield technology with some of their subjects. And in the back we have more Armenian footmen with some extra experience points. Use the auxiliaries in the siege. Very Mongol thing to do. The artillery crew here probably is Mongolian. These are the trebuchets. We have his general here, and then the thing that's always Mongolian in the armies, the cavalry. So here we have the Mongolian heavy shot cavalry, and here is their captain with straight edge sword. Really gotta like some of these helmets here in this game. Very historical and very, very Mongolian looking. Medieval armor. Second unit of the heavy shot cavalry, and third unit. And yes, as you can see, they do look quite Mongolian here. And their ally, a people that they conquered that was also a steppe people, are the Kipchaks here. This is the general of the Kipchak army. Let's try to see him here. There he is. And his general's bodyguard. The Cuman Kipchak army is commanded by Nick Amula. In this tower they have the Nogur foot guards. So these are a hybrid unit, heavy ranged melee infantry, very tough unit. You can see they have the bows on the backs, but they also have their single-handed weapons. And actually some very cool visors. So the early medieval visors that could be lifted up, as you can see here. Some Nogur Lancers over here with a ton of experience points added for Nick Amula's Cuman army. And it looks like he did break the siege tower rule, but that's all right. They had a lot of resources to build towers, I guess. Tribal spearmen here. And I'm sure it was incidental. There were just a lot of rules to follow for a special rules match, which we don't usually play under. More tribal spearmen here. And tribal spearmen pushing this battering ram towards the gates for the Cumans. That is not a very large army by the looks of it, but it appears that they're attacking these two walls here. And in the back there are more Cuman forces here, so the rest of his army. Heavily experienced Nogur foot guard here hiding in the reeds. Second unit of these heavy ranged melee infantry. And his other two cavalry units are here as well, the Nogur Lancers. Yet another hybrid unit, the Nogur foot guard, and another. So he has 5 back here by the looks of it. And 3 cavalry, so he has also gone over the cav limit because he has a 4th one over here. But these steppe armies were often heavy in cavalry, so that's all right. And again, I'm sure it was incidental and not on purpose. So that is it for the army compositions, guys. 6-player battle, so that took a while. Let's now get into the battle. We're going to click fast forward here as we can get these towers a little closer to the action. I'm Alright guys, and now we do have archers firing away at these Mongol units that are trying to bring the ladders forward, but we have some artillery cover fire with rocket fire. Gotta be terrifying facing some gunpowder on the battlefield for the first time for the Europeans. And here we have the Armenian footmen trying to bring this siege tower up, and some Georgian auxiliaries over here. And they are getting picked off, guys, by a lot of arrow fire from the walls here. One by one, you can see them getting picked off as they're pushing this ladder uphill. This unit down to 106. The Polish wall here being attacked first, it seems, although they are pushing up on the other wall too. And the archers just having plenty of targets here. This unit with 12 kills already. This unit with only 1. And the crossbows here are now finally getting in range. It looks like these meat shields, the Karash, are actually being switched off here after they push the ram up close enough for the Georgian auxiliaries, and they're going to be just thrown at the gate here at these pit traps that are kind of bait here. And they're going to be falling in these pit traps, and they're going to be taken out by the crossbows pretty quickly. Down 120 men, 119 out of 150 already. They have very poor morale. The archers still raining down. 15 of this unit taken out. And looks like 35 of this unit taken out. And the Koresh, almost 50 of them gone. But now the archers are pulling back, and they are being replaced by Polish sergeant spearmen on the wall. Over here, the Polish sergeants are going to take this wall. And more Polish forces are being moved up, but the Mongols have reached the walls. And the Georgian auxiliaries are going to have the first point of contact here. So let's go to cinematic view, guys.
Enemy unit, enemy troops are at the walls!
And check out this battle. Just breaking out on the walls here. It's a good push here by the Mongols, quickly closing the gap under artillery cover fire. We have another battle breaking out over here between some Polish sergeants and some Mongol auxiliary warriors. And we now have the Blood DLC mod, not mod, but the Blood DLC purchased for some extra real battles, guys. The auxiliaries really getting a foothold along these walls and trying to capture a section of the walls. The dismounted Druzina Meta here, the one Kiev unit here along the Polish wall. And the sergeants as well, holding on the walls here, the Polish sergeants, against these Georgian auxiliaries who are sort of surrounded here, not in the best position, having just jumped off their siege ladders. We see arrow fire as well coming in from the defender's arrow towers. Mongols now having pushed up some of their archers, the Turkish archers, to rain cover fire down, and still more Armenian footmen running through this tower. We have a unit breaking of Georgian auxiliaries here against the Polish forces. The battering ram is being moved up, but this crossbow unit has remained on the wall in the hope of getting protected by some of their neighboring units here, and are in range now to fire away. An archer unit here being caught out by the Armenian footmen. And we have Kiev, the dismounted Druzina, battling away as well.
Tower has been destroyed.
Second Mongol army taking on Kiev here with their footmen, auxiliaries. And now the Polish Knights, this experienced unit over here, is maneuvering on the field, so let's ride with these Polish Knights. And here they go. Sort of a glitchy looking charge, but it is what it is. And they do succeed in breaking the Armenian footmen and saving some of this archer unit. Oh, actually only 22 men dead there. The battering ram crew here being taken out, these crossbows with 81 kills, doing well on the walls. Polish walls holding for now. Here there is a Mongol foothold where
Enemy
these
units have returned to the
Druzina look
battle.
to be wavering, but otherwise the Polish walls have held pretty well against this Mongol army here. Now the Mongol heavy cavalry with some arrows as well, so they can fire their projectiles too. And another charge here by the Polish Knights, taking out about 3 dozen Armenian footmen by the looks of it, but now facing arrow fire from the Mongol archers here. And we do have some Fire Lance infantry trying to get into position. See if they get some shots off. Be interesting to see. We have some Druzina here holding, and they're being pulled back now as the Druzina are in combat with some of their allies here. The Cumans sort of a little behind. Nogar foot guards over here, and I think that was a Cuman unit, a spearman unit that broke over here. Now he is trying to march one unit around, the rest remaining in hiding around the back here. Not sure what the plan is, but they've started that march. Now the Mongol warriors here, the Mongol army with their Georgian auxiliaries breaking, trying to reform outside the walls. This Polish wing here holding, but the second Mongol army has broken through here against Kiev, and now with handgunners, knav throwers, archers to help their infantry in this battle, gaining a big foothold here. We see some artillery fire as well, but the defenders' arrow towers here helping them out, and the Mongols forming up here. Defender archers here getting some shots off, and we do have more cav. This looks to be Polish cav charging in over some rocks and hitting just with brutality into a Fire Lance infantry unit, but the knav throwers respond with no regard for their Mongol comrades here, just doing everything to get the Polish cavalry off the field here. And more nav tosses, and both units are broken. The Polish unit completely decimated. The Mongol unit also completely decimated, but may yet
Men are broken
rally.
and are fleeing.
And that Polish knight unit is completely gone. Now the second one is here, the one that was charging earlier, with 90 kills, 43 men
Enemy
left.
units have been rallied.
And this second Mongol army has broken through, and they're going to help the first Mongol army out here. And the nap throwers already looking to do more damage. That was the handgunners, the fire lancers, firing away here. And these crossbows are already wavering under the fire. But some sergeants here have got them in hand-to-hand. The Mongol fire lancers now using their weapons with those spades on them in hand-to-hand.
Our men are rallying. They're not done yet.
But too much pressure from both sides here. And these auxiliaries have taken a spear unit in the rear that was facing forward here. So the Polish wall here now wavering, although still holding for now. Georgian auxiliaries are breaking.
Stand and fight, damn you!
And too many projectiles here. Arrow fire from the Turkish archers. And the nap throwers and handgunners moving into position. Human wing here has abandoned the assault over here by the looks of it. This was what's left of their battering ram crew, so it's really the two Mongol armies that are doing the pushing now. Some big artillery fire way out from the inner keep here. Looks to be the trebuchet of Kiev firing away, as well as Terminator's trebuchet from Bulgaria. Polish trebuchet also with, looks like 5 kills. So 1 or 2 shots off. So every trebuchet has now been firing. Now for the realism here, we did not use any explosive shots in the 13th century. And only the regular shots for the defenders and the attacking trebuchet too. Really gives that early medieval feel. Although this would be...
Disaster! Enemy forces have seized our
there
gates.
is a gate. The gate has been captured now. You have the nap throwers in hand-to-hand. But everything to just force that spear unit out of this choke point. And with that gate down, the Mongol cav now has one possible entrance into this keep, and they are wasting no time to get that cav engaged. Back here we do have the Cumans attacking this barricade, archer sergeants firing away.
The men
But they
are
will
broken
break
and running for their lives.
after taking out a single lancer. Barricade down to 56. As well, these lancers with the human lancers with bows of their own. And really this unit trying to get one more shot off at these horsemen who are slashing apart this barricade. And they do get a few arrows in there. And from the top
Unit
as
is
well.
running from the enemy.
Some arrows. Second lancer is down, but the archer unit has broken here. And it looks like the Cumans will have climbed this long hill and broken through into the base from this side. So there's now 2 compromises in the defenses of this city.
The enemy refuses to admit defeat. Their unit has rallied.
Rocket card fire here, doing damage. 4 spearmen down. And now some covering archer fire from both sides. Look at that. Very large AoE damage here. And the Mongols are pushing up their fire lancers instead of charging infantry into these spears. Probably a very good move if they can make it work.
Our allies have lost their general. They are shaken.
And big damage from that. And it looks like a general has been killed. by all of this, the Cuman archers in the back and their archer and their heavy cav, which also have missiles, and they have taken out, looks like, the Grand Prince of Kiev possibly. Yes, they have sniped Kiev's general, so the last of the Russian princes is now dead on the field, and they are going for the Bulgarian general, who has no idea where these arrows are coming from. Just raining down on him. And that might be a second general. And the Polish king has moved off to the side here. These archer sergeants are now out of ammunition. They've returned what fire they could. And it looks like one unit of Cumans did fall here. What will get caught out though are these Polish knights, because they cannot enter this way through this barricade. They have to come around and enter here. But now the Cumans are in the base on this side. So we have a few units that may not make it to the inner keep here. Bulgaria trying to rush back with a spear unit and a archer sergeant unit, a crossbow sergeant unit, is here in the open. But the Cumans may be securing this gate first. And here is a cav charge. Some knights taken on the Mongol lancers. Now this knight unit was weakened to begin with. The Mongol lancers at full health. Both units taking big damage here. Some archer fire too, raining down on them. Let's go to cinematic view, guys. And we do have that unit wavering now.
Broken and not fleeing.
So the last Polish cav is off the field. The Mongols with 38 men left out of 60. So the defenders really pulling up here in the back. This mid-city over here being pushed. Mongol cav attacking some Rus hunters here. And just a
Enemy units have returned
very
to the
grisly battle scene here with plenty of blood. And the Mongols are not letting up. Burning the town and riding them down.
The enemy have captured the gates!
Mongol heavy shot cavalry firing away with their bows before their charge. Here they go. They have caught some Druzina out sleeping and have charged them. So Kiev again caught out here. The Druzina will fight back here, but the Mongols were the ones who initiated the charge, so they will do a lot more damage. And that unit is gone. Wow, that is rough. And it looks like all these Rus javelin men have also shattered. So the entire settlement now belonging to the Mongols and their Cuman allies. The Cumans over here taking out some Bulgarian archers who are caught holding the wall from the back. This unit of Moldavian warriors, though, charged from the back. Just no chance for them against all this cav here surrounding them. So the Moldavian warriors will break as well. I think that is it for the outer defenses, guys. And the mid-city, both are now taken by the Mongols, who are taking the capture points here and moving in, but they took a lot of damage on the field. We can see just a lot of bodies here as they tried to take the outer walls here. Really, the defenders really making them pay here, as we can see. And then as well making them pay here on the walls. Although the defenders lost probably just as many men on the walls. Mongols pushing up the back way here as well. Not really too interested in attacking this barricade for now. And possibly considering a push this way, exchanging fire with the Polish crossbowmen who have 183 kills and are still firing away from this wall here. Now the archer sergeants here.
The enemy refuses to admit
For
defeat.
Poland.
Their unit has rallied.
Firing away at this fire lance infantry, trying to prevent them from getting close enough to fire at the spearmen defending the entrance. Picking up kills here, guys. And the fire lancers firing away here, and heavy spears blasting through shields and armor alike here. Really cool effect here. Only 4 kills though. Well, it looks like more than that. 7
Our gates
maybe.
have fallen to the enemy.
The Polish trebuchet firing away with that regular shot. And another big hit here, taking out some Turkish archers. More artillery fire coming from the Polish trebuchet.
We must defend the barricade.
That was a miss. The barricade here being attacked by the Armenian footmen, but these archers being pulled back due to too much incoming archer fire, and the rocket cart now firing directly into the inner keep and lighting the trebuchet on fire. He is targeting these footmen, so that is not breaking the rules of sniping artillery. He lights another one on fire, but really you can't help it. The AoE is so massive. Polish trebuchet with 88 kills looks to be out of ammunition now. And these archer sergeants have done quite well here on the wall. 88 kills, a lot of them cavalry kills. Going for quantity as well as, or quality as well as quantity. And we have a battle for this inner keep entrance here. 2 sets of spearmen. The Despot spearmen are here first. Let's go and check this out in cinematic view. We have some nap throwers as well as the Mongol fire lancers taking on the spearmen on this bloody steep hill. And the rocket cart still firing away. Trebuchet here giving answer, trying to target the cavalry, which is quickly moved out of the way.
Enemy units have been rallied.
And the town burning. Crossbows here have really done a good job this game, but their unit with 192 kills has almost no ammo and almost no men left. But they did soak up a ton of arrows here due to their position and the battlements here, the wooden battlements. And really, the Nogar foot guards, the hybrids, have used pretty much all their ammunition. Some of these crossbows still firing away. The Cumans have secured this part of the base. And the Mongols have secured the rest of it. And these archers here for Poland, preventing this barricade from being destroyed. And just shredding this unit of human spearmen as they try to rally and attack the barricade again, but they won't.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
This unit now with 162 kills. And with even more ammunition still yet to give here. So everything around them burning, the barricade is still up. It's got 37 damage, 55 fire damage, but it's still holding for now. And we do have a battle here on this slope as the Nilgar foot guards of the Cumans, the auxiliaries, our allies of the Mongols, vassals we can say, are attacking this Polish spear unit that's holding this hill. Very advantageous position for the Polish, but a very elite unit pushing them, trying to break into this inner keep.
The men are running, cowards!
Just a massive push, and now the last defending general being targeted. The King's bodyguard here. And a charge here. Cavalry mopping up some infantry here. The Mongols charging into the dismounted Druzina with big success. Ton of kills there for this unit, which already has 176 kills. Mongols are pulling out here and maybe going in for another charge, we'll see. Reforming, yes they are. And here they go again. Chasing the infantry, which is trying to run. Looks like they might get a few, but they're going to pull back as most of them have made it out, and now they are in archer range. The defender's almost out of arrows, but these Bulgarian archers here, the nice vantage point from this wall, firing away. The spear's trying to take cover from the rocket cart.
The men are broken and are fleeing!
Over here we have a spear unit that is broken. The sergeant spearmen with the experience points that are holding the choke point here are broken, but we do have some Polish archer sergeants that have been thrown in to hold because they are out of ammo. So you want to just get the best out of your archers. And some Bulgarian archers doing the same thing now, pulling out melee weapons, even though this is not their strong suit. And just trying to hold here against the Mongol onslaught.
Enemy forces have destroyed an entire unit!
The barricade is now destroyed. And the sergeant spearman unit over here taking big fire. Although a trebuchet responding, trying to target the Mongol cavalry. Mongols trying to use all their missiles first here. The archers firing up. And trying to use all of their missiles. And we have the Khan of the Mongols. Getting a bit closer to the action now. And it looks like a almost full Fire Lancer unit here, and a second one at about half strength being pushed up here. But the defender's doing pretty well here. 2,300 defenders left and only 1,100 of the
Enemy
attackers.
units have
That's very
returned to
elite
the
cavalry
battle.
left on the field. And it does look like this archer unit is now out of arrows as well. Defenders with very few missile units left. The attackers still able to use missiles for the time being. Just a massive push by the attackers here. Humans and another unit of archer sergeants, which is out of arrows, have been thrown in here. And finally, a proper infantry unit, Bulgarian spearmen, look to be closing off the choke point. But these hybrid infantry are quite good hand-to-hand for the Cumans. The rocket guard continues to whittle away at the defender numbers here. Turkish archers still letting some shafts fly. Big artillery fire targeting the cavalry, and we do have a unit that's wavering. Two units that are still up and firing away with their own missiles at the Polish spearmen holding this gate here. And more artillery fire. And a big hit there right in the middle of the horsemen. And one that misses. And the Mongols now trying to go for it here with time running out. Charging the infantry, heads up. And a big charge. Great charge by the Mongols here. The spearmen are going to be tough to beat. And they do pull back. And massive damage. Probably 40 spearmen dead. And the Mongols are coming back for one more. One more big charge up this hill. That might be it. And another Mongol unit charging, a fresh cavalry unit, kind of getting stuck on the side of this hill here, but still doing plenty of damage. And this Polish spear unit is just about done. But somehow they hold. Although, maybe not for long. Big charge by the Mongols here, and that wipes the spear unit out completely.
The
just cycle charging here.
The men have thrown down their
but they're
weapons and are
replaced
fleeing.
by spears from Kiev, the reserves. It's going to be too much for these Mongols here. The Mongols, another big charge. And a second group here charging uphill, a little bit less effective, but doing what they can to break through here. Defenders walling this area off nicely. First the Polish spears, and when they all died, the Kievan spears. Polish archers here giving some cover fire. And the Mongols with one last desperate charge. For this unit, beautiful charge. Killing plenty, but also losing some. And these spear units suffering heavily, and now the Khan, the Mongol army, has thrown his own warriors and personal guard in here. Although he's cycle charging, so he does pull out. And we now have some Fire Lance infantry that have moved up. And we have the Khan of the Second
Men
Army
flee the field of
battling some Polish
This is a
spears here.
shameful display.
Polish and Bulgarian spears taking on the personal guard of the Khan. Or the Kashig. From this side. Over here we do have the Fire Lancers pulling back as some infantry have charged them. And the Khan himself is going to try to take care of them. And some nice maneuvering going on here by the Mongol player. Leaving some archers that are out of ammunition to deal with these infantry. And using the Khan to, looks like, cycle charge. And killing a ton, as well as getting some fire from his Fire Lancers. But mostly very well executed. The Khan losing very few there, and that infantry to completely wiped out. Fire Lancers are now the target of the artillery from the defenders. Bulgaria and Kiev firing away with their trebuchets. And the hill here providing some cover for the defenders. The Fire Lancers having to get dangerously close to get some shots off. But a good amount of shots have found the mark here, and this spear unit
their general is dead.
Probably going to waver soon. And we have a general dead, the Mongol Khan. One of them has fallen here. Another little charge here by Mongol horses. Small depleted group. But the Fire Lancers causing units to break and waver. And the Khan charging in to this wavering group of spears. Possibly causing a break here. One unit left. But now some Druzina being thrown into the gap. And Bulgaria's artillery crew as well as some Bulgarian archers trying to plug this gap here. The Mongols also throwing everything they have with some of their archers that are out of ammo being thrown in here. So for now, this gap will hold. Cuman Lancers are here too, fighting in hand-to-hand. Polish spears have held over here, barely, but taken out one of the enemy generals. The attackers with two generals left here, one of the Mongol Khans and the leader of the Cumans. This general's unit is, well, the actual general is dead. The defender's only with one general alive, and that would be the Duke and his, or the Polish Duke here, or the King's bodyguard. And they are also going in on foot to fight in hand-to-hand. The Knights of the King's Guard here for Poland. Taking on Mongol warriors in hand-to-hand. Let's take a look here in cinematic view, guys.
The enemy have rallied their units.
Just a chaotic battlefield here, guys. Plenty of blood all around. The last defending general here, and the sergeants of Poland thrown in to help. And it looks like, for now at least, the defenders will hold here, but some more Fire Lance infantry firing away.
The tide of battle turns in our favor.
And the Khan going for it, trying to target the King's Guard here of Poland. But just too many defenders are going to surround him. He's trying to strike the last general down. Just a great battle, guys. So much fun. Try to defend against the Mongol horde.
Men are broken and are
And we
fleeing.
have the leader of the Cumans here pushing through and into the center. But immediately surrounded by plenty of infantry here. And the actual inner keep here now on fire as well. But it does look like the very
The
last
men have thrown down their weapons and are fleeing.
of the attacking generals is about to fall here as well. Just surrounded by defenders. The balance of power here now reveals after that absolute frenzy going on in the middle that the defenders are up by about 3.5 or 4 to 1. So this really being it here for the great Mongol push.
Fallen.
Now the last defending general falls, which was the Polish general, but the Cuman general will as well, as he is wavering already. We have some units here way in the back that seem to have rallied, but it won't be enough to take this keep here. And there he goes. The last of the attacking generals down. So all 6 generals here either broken, fled, or dead on the battlefield. That would be the second Khan over here fleeing. He may have gotten away alive. Over here there is still these elite units which are now very tired, trying to push up into this mass of defenders. The Bulgarians holding this side very well. Terminator doing a good job not letting these elite infantry, hybrid infantry, into the inner keep. And we will take a look at cinematic view, guys.
Destroyed.
And is that it? One of the units wavering, 2 of them just being pulled out. Well, 2 of them now wavering. Maybe realizing that the battle is over for all intents and purposes here. The defenders do hold. Kind of interesting to see what is happening now. The Cumans seem to have rallied, but maybe they're just pulling their units off the field. I honestly don't know. Nor do I remember this. So these foot guards wavering, but the other 3 units are not wavering, just being controlled by the player. Besides that one other unit, I don't think there's anything else on the field for the attackers. Possibly some sort of retreat, or maybe a glitch. Maybe they were wavering. Sometimes the replays glitch out.
Nothing remains of this unit now.
There's only a few Polish troops left on the field here. Actually, some Kievan troops here in the middle, the mid-city. And that would be it. Yeah, it looks like they did break. The Mongols and the Cuman army's broken, so a victory for the defenders, guys. But Pyrrhic victory, very close, and just obviously huge carnage on both sides, huge losses, and the entire settlement being destroyed or burned down here as well. So let's take a quick look at the stats, guys, if we have those available. So for the defenders, this would be the army of the Duchy of Lesser Poland, which I was controlling. The King's Guard here with 12 kills. Some of the spearmen doing a little better, 114 for this unit. Some of them a little worse with 13 over here, 58 over here. The swordsmen, the sergeants here, 28 kills, but the unit is pretty much intact still and survived the battle. This unit here, with 110, but being entirely wiped out. And this unit, 53 kills. Now the archers here doing very well. This unit, 193 kills and still surviving the battle. 128 over here, 91, 229 despite being completely wiped out. So very good numbers. And 194 for these crossbows. The knights here, 97 kills over here. This unit dying, I believe, against Mongol horsemen at the very end of the mid-city battle. And 53 kills over here, 88 with the trebuchet. Now we move to the next one up was Terminator. We have, so his unit here, his general being picked off, 0 kills and dying against Cuman arrows. He does have some good numbers on the spears, 105 over here, 85 over here, some of them with a little less. His swordsman not doing as well, only 15 kills here, 20. One good unit with 126, and then this unit was 62, but all of them being wiped out, I guess, except these two here with lots of men remaining. And then his archers as well with some good numbers, 207, 172, 89, 158, 95, and 81. His trebuchet with 136 kills. And then we have Litholdus with Kiev. His general also being killed by Cuman arrows. Without any kills. Shock infantry, 0 kills here, 51 kills here, and this unit surviving, so good work over here. The spears, as you can see, 91, 75, not too bad, but these two units a little worse. And the Druzina doing pretty well, 102 kills here, 68, 116. This unit down only 11. This unit, I would say half the unit survived with 32 kills. Now his archers did, I mean, if we compare, yeah, a little worse, 12 kills, 27, 4, and 56. And his javelin men, the Rus javelin men, only 6 kills here and 0 kills here for this unit. But some of these units surviving, his archers being wiped out. And then the cavalry here, the Druzina, only 1 kill. They were blindsided by some Mongol cav. His trebuchet, though, with 156 would probably be the most on the defenders. And then we have the attackers here, Dragon Player, controlling the Mongol armies of the Ilkhanate. So the Khan here with 16 kills, very involved in the fighting. Armenian footmen here, 0, 76, 73, 39, 10, 25, 26, and 17. So some units with very poor numbers, some units doing a little better. His archers with plenty of kills here, the Turkish archers, 123, 100, and 106. So all of them in the triple digits. The Mongol fire lancers, despite putting up some really spectacular looking volleys that we saw during the game, only 46 kills here, 21 and 47. They do have to be a lot closer, and they do need line of sight. Now his Mongol heavy cavalry, 31, 46, and 45. Pretty good numbers here on the cav. Not great, but not bad for a siege. And 51 kills on the trebuchet over here. Now Nick Omula with the Cuman army here. Just a small army with plenty of experienced units. 58 kills for this general who did die. No kills for most of the spearmen, and most of them getting wiped out. And now some of these Nogar foot guard, these look like they were not engaged. They may have been the unit in the back there, that was the reserves. And these units getting plenty of kills, 127, 158, 197, 186, and 179 kills. Now remember that these units are actually hybrid units. So not all of these are just archer kills. Once they're out of ammo, they go in and they did kill plenty of men hand to hand. And then his cavalry too, with the 4 cav units, 47 kills, 39 kills, 135 and 46. So a good game by Nick Omula, bringing a kind of small and elite army, just not enough to turn the tide. And then finally, the second Mongol player with, that's the most general kills for sure, for Shaki here. 130 kills for the Khan of the Mongols. Just excellent numbers here for the general. Unfortunately, he did lose the Khan, but that was a very brave charge at the end. This unit with 0 kills, the Karash, sort of the meat shield unit, pushing the battering ram at the beginning there. And the Georgian auxiliaries, kind of hot and cold. Good numbers here, 72, but then only 9, 17, 9, and 0. The Armenian footman as well, not doing too well. His archers and range units with some excellent numbers, 161 here. Fire Lance unit with 113 kills, so that's very good use of the Fire Lancers. 88 kills here, only 29 on this one. And his cavalry, so he also has the most cav kills by the looks of it. 342 for this unit. Wow, hats off. 208, 115, and then the nav throwers we saw with some very good numbers here. And remember that they also took out some Polish knights in my army. So some of these kills very much quantity kills, but a good quantity, but also quality kills, killing some quality units in those knights. So 92 kills here, 123 kills, and the rocket cart with 99 kills, pretty good numbers too. So great job by all the players in this battle. I hope you guys enjoyed a Mongol siege battle. And we will have more medieval battles on this channel shortly, so check us out.